I had heard about this Caitlin Clark, and I was like watching videos of her just like having like 40 points, like averaging a million in high school. And I was like, oh, this girl thinks she's gonna come here and rule the world, you know, like whatever. It's gonna be, you know, whatever. And there she did, came in right away and ruled the world. And I was like, all right.
Kate Martin's WNBA journey started with promise, but quickly turned into a nightmare. The former Iowa standout, the same one who helped Caitlin Clark lead the Hawkeyes to back-to-back Final Fours, found herself wasting away on the Las Vegas Aces bench, watching her career stall before it even had a chance to start. Game after game, her minutes vanished, her confidence slipped, and the franchise that was supposed to develop her seemed content to let her fade. Then came a phone call that changed everything from Caitlin Clark herself. In a new interview, Kate opened up about the exact moment she realized Vegas wasn't her home, the conversation with Caitlin that reignited her fire, and why joining the Golden State Valkyries became more than a move. It became a rebirth. If you're rooting for Kate, you know what to do. Type Golden State Kate in the comments.
2 Iowa teams left a mark on women's college basketball, but also women's basketball at large. Is that like kind of crazy to think about? Like you were a part of something that was a catalyst for this like large.
To understand how we got here, you've got to rewind to Iowa. Before Caitlin Clark and Kate Martin turned Carver Hawkeye Arena into a madhouse, Iowa women's basketball wasn't even on the national radar. But those two flipped the script. Every home game became a spectacle, not because of hype, but because of how they played. Caitlin was the flash, the logo threes, the viral highlights. Kate was the foundation, the one making everything run smoothly behind the scenes. She wasn't the sidekick, she was the system. I just remember you have that summer before, and she was doing things that I had never seen anybody do before. And as a freshman, to come in and have that kind of confidence, like, not everybody has that. Like, I was like, oh, I haven't really seen anything like this. And so we knew she was going to be outstanding. And then, yeah, the beginning of the year, we had some big wins, and there was highs and lows that year for sure, but, it took us a little bit to figure it out. But yeah, it obviously turned out better than I could have ever expected or thought. Let's talk about those Final Four runs in 2023 and 2024. Sure, everyone remembers Caitlin dropping 40 and breaking scoring records, but look deeper. Kate Martin averaged 13.1 points and nearly 7 rebounds a game. Those are not role player numbers. Those are leader numbers. But Kate had the rare maturity to understand that her greatest strength wasn't outshining Caitlin. It was elevating her. She was the glue, the balance, the quiet power that made the whole machine work. Real quick, what did you notice about Caitlin's work ethic? Was there anything that stood out? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she was in the gym constantly, and it was like the way she approached everything too was like, it was like with a sort of excellence. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna go through the motions and whatever. It was like, no, I'm here to kick your butt. And every single drill, every single practice, and especially whenever our gray squad guys were playing against us, it was like, if you're across from me, you're my enemy, you know? And I think that's just kind of how you have to approach things to get better. And she had that, next level mindset, and it really just raised us all up with her. Go back and watch that iconic Final Four matchup against South Carolina, the one that stunned the undefeated Gamecocks. Kate calls it the defining moment of her career, and it's easy to see why. She was everywhere, communicating, boxing out, cutting off lanes, setting screens. She was the calm amid chaos. When Clark needed space to create, Kate was the one clearing it. When teammates got rattled, she was the voice that steadied them. That's leadership you can't teach, and the kind of presence that wins championships. If you had to pick a favorite highlight, like getting to the Final Four, is it beating South Carolina and breaking their streak? Is it, getting to the final game? What would have been the moment? I would say beating South Carolina was that was incredible. That was the best moment ever because we all believed that we could make it to a Final Four. And so we were just all right, we made it to a Final Four. Let's go. This is great. We didn't think we were gonna really make it to the national championship. The undefeated South Carolina, they're Twin Towers down there, just a very long, athletic, good team. And so when we executed that game plan perfectly and beat them, that was probably that's still probably my career highlight. But the real magic between Caitlin and Kate wasn't just chemistry, it was telepathy. These two shared a basketball wavelength. Kate knew exactly when to crash the boards for Caitlin's missed threes, and Caitlin instinctively found Kate for open looks or hockey assists that set up teammates. They weren't just teammates, they were an ecosystem. Caitlin's confidence thrived because Kate made the game easier. Kate's impact soared because Caitlin trusted her completely. Yeah, I feel like looking back on it and then even just talking to you now, it's yes, Caitlin is a big focal point of the team. She's going to have to do a lot of the scoring, all the things. And it's almost like good cop, bad cop or something. I don't mean it in literal terms, but she just had to be herself, and that was going to win you games. But then you had to come in and kind of be like a calling effect in that. So I'm actually really curious as these teams start to take shape in 2023 and then 2024. What was your leadership style in conjunction with a player like Caitlin, but also the rest of your teammates? And make no mistake, Kate did the dirty work that didn't make it into the highlight reels. She set the screens that freed Caitlin for those impossible shots. She rotated defensively to cover for Caitlin's aggressive gambles. She grabbed the offensive rebounds that gave Iowa second chances. I was definitely more of the calmer presence and being hey, look me in the eyes, deep breath, it's all gonna be okay. And I think the leadership style that I really had was just trust. She trusted me because she had seen me putting in the work in the gym. She knew how much I cared. I was only 2 years older than her, but she believed that I had her best interest in mind. And I showed her that over and over again. I built a relationship with her outside of basketball. I tried to build relationships with all my teammates outside of basketball. So it wasn't the only time I'm talking to you is out on the court and telling you hey, can't do that, or hey, do the, whatever. It's called relationship equity. Exactly. The reason the Hawkeyes were feared wasn't just because they had a superstar. It's because they had the perfect partner to back her up. If we needed to get across to Caitlin, it was Kate. That was my job at times. And then her junior and sophomore year, she had done so much work on herself and how to be a great teammate and all of us together that I didn't need to I don't know, do all of that. Yeah, but I felt grateful that, she trusted me enough to where it was relayed. And I felt grateful that I was the person who could speak up. But the WNBA is a different beast. Her production cratered to 2.6 points, 1.6, and 6 rebounds. Those aren't numbers that reflect lack of talent. They reflect lack of opportunity. The same player who was pulling down boards and knocking down shots in college was now being told to grab a towel and stay ready for what exactly? You really do, but it's just hard, as you know. There's only 12 spots, whatever. And when the playoffs rolled around, things somehow got worse. 6 playoff games. 3 total minutes. 3. That's not player development. That's a message, and the message was clear. In Vegas, Kate Martin wasn't part of the plan. I'm curious, so now that you're into your second year, what do you think? What makes the WNBA so difficult to play in? Man, I just think the physicality, speed, smart players, really smart players, and people who have been around for a long time, honestly. Yeah, I'm just thinking back to New York. They're massive. They are, yeah, they're very, very, very good. A lot of these people have been playing professional basketball for a very long time. Sue Bird, a legend who's seen it all, once described how brutal that transition can be. The WNBA's speed, physicality, and complexity